What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. Last time, we saw what happened with the group after they faced Zamasu in the future, following the defeat of Vegeta Black. Also, I did make a mistake in the end of part 8, which was easily fixed, but I still want to point out that you guys should watch part 8.5, which retcons the end of that and fixes the mistake. Anyways, at the end of that part, or at least the retcon, the group returns to the present and tries to find a way to defeat Zamasu. Even though Vegeta Black is dead, they have a big issue in terms of trying to defeat Zamasu, since he's immortal, even if he's not as strong as Vegeta Black. We left off with Goku going to Kame House to learn the Mafuba, while Gohan and Trunks decide to consult Shin and see if he can use the Time Ring to access the Super Dragon Balls. I left a poll at the end of the last part, asking whether or not Shin would help Gohan and Trunks, or if he'd be stubborn about time travel kinda like Beerus is, and the majority of you voted that he would help. And I agree, Shin is very pragmatic compared to Beerus, and even though they shouldn't abuse time travel, this is necessary and will actually help everyone, and isn't really an abuse of that. For anyone also confused about if Shin can actually use the Time Ring, he can. I saw a few comments on the last part asking about whether he could even do that, and it's not exclusive to the Universe 10 Kais. As far as we know, they're the only ones who have possession of the Time Rings, but they're not the only ones who can use them. Any Kai can really use them, and even in the manga, Shin actually does use one. So yeah, he can use them, they just need to travel the Universe 10 to actually get one. So Gohan and Trunks are going to contact Shin through Dende, and Shin brings them to his planet with Whis and Beerus there as well. The two of them tell Shin their idea, and he actually agrees, thinking it's a great one. Beerus is mad that they want to time travel, but Shin assures him that this time travel won't upset Zeno since he could do it anyways. It's just the reason for it is a little worrying. Beerus doesn't want to be involved in any way and just goes to take a nap for a bit. Whis takes the three of them to Universe 10, where they meet Goasu. Already knowing the situation, Goasu allows Shin to use the Time Rings, and Shin travels a year into the future and spends some time there collecting the Dragon Balls. Since it's a little time consuming and he might need a translator, Whis also heads along with him to help, and Whis doesn't even need a Time Ring to do so. Yeah, I guess from the ending of the Future Trunks arc, the Angels can just travel through time and they have a lot of broken powers like that. Whatever, I'm not gonna question that. And this is the first time they find out Whis could actually do this, so that's why they didn't ask him in the first place. But it doesn't really matter, it's better to have two people going rather than just one. The two of them work together to collect the Dragon Balls. And once they do get them, they don't wish to remove Zamasu's immortality. Gohan and Trunks actually had a better idea for a wish that they told the two of them. The wish is much more powerful. It's a wish to remove Zamasu from any timeline that he could possibly exist in, immortal or not. Not only will this save Trunks' timeline, but any other timeline that may have their own Zamasu will get their Zamasu erased as well and they won't have to worry about it. Since for all they know, Zamasu could have already been traveling to other ones to get other Zamasus to join him. I wonder if that means he'd be erased from my other what ifs since they're kinda different timelines. Kinda weird. Anyways, jokes aside, Zamasu is now completely erased in every reality as Shin and Whis head back to their normal time. That seems relatively simple. They all head back to Universe 7 and await the results. Goku meets up with them soon after, ready to fight Zamasu. He's pumped up and he's actually prepared this time with the container and the seal for it, and he's ready to use the evil containment wave to seal Zamasu, thinking that this will be the end-all be-all for Zamasu. His excitement slowly fades once Gohan and Trunks tell him what actually happened, but he doesn't really care that much because that means Zamasu is no longer a problem. It just means that he can't fight him himself. Alright, problem solved, and they told Goku about it, but where's Vegeta and the two other Brolys? They find Vegeta at the time chamber as he exits with the two Brolys, with both Brolys wearing the exact same clothes because Bulma made some new ones for future Broly. And this leads to a pretty odd but humorous encounter. Vegeta thought it would be a good idea to train with the two Brolys in the meantime, since he didn't know what to do with them, and they weren't really doing anything either. So he essentially has two Broly bodyguards next to him, and now with the change of clothes, no one could tell who's who. They didn't stay in the time chamber for that long because there wasn't really that much food for 3 people for a whole year, but they still got some good training out of it. Vegeta just goes off and lets everyone figure out which Broly is which by themselves. It's not his problem, and each Broly knows which timeline they belong to. Other than the Brolys, this just leaves everyone confused. To make sure everything worked, Whis actually heads to Trunks' timeline, and sure enough, Zamasu's gone for good. Knowing that the Super Dragon Balls must have worked, and thanks to Whis' scouting, Trunks and Broly return to the future with some extra fuel in case they ever need to head back. They thank everyone for the help, and they're happy that it was pretty easy to get rid of Zamasu, a lot easier than they thought. All the fighting, destruction, it's all finally over. The time machine disappears as they say goodbye, with Trunks and Broly returning to build their future back to normal. And that's the conclusion to this arc. For the next few months or so, life returns to normal as everyone goes back to their daily lives. The Saiyans all continue to train with Beerus, except Gohan and Vegeta fall behind a little bit due to Gohan needing to work and take care of Pan, and Vegeta now needing to be with Bulma while they wait for Bra to be born, but that only happens in the later months. Goku's goal now is to power up further, as Broly is also trying to achieve Super Saiyan Blue for himself after tapping into God. Goku considers trying to teach Broly how to combine Wrathful with Super Saiyan so he can get his own version of Wrathful Super Saiyan, but Broly doesn't really need it right now. He'd rather focus on getting Broly to use Super Saiyan Blue, and they can work on Wrathful Super Saiyan after he gets that, since Wrathful Super Saiyan in this scenario is more of an upgrade of the base form, whereas Super Saiyan Blue is a separate thing entirely and much more important. The roles actually switch this time between Gohan and Goku. When he occasionally visits, Gohan helps Goku access Mastered Super Saiyan Blue, while Gohan is interested in learning Wrathful Super Saiyan while he's there. Broly fully devotes his time to learning Super Saiyan Blue. During this time, Goku ends up meeting Zeno again, and this naturally leads to the Tournament of Power being set up, except there's one less Zeno. For the exhibition match, Goku, Gohan, and Broly are the ones participating, and it's very easy for them. I kind of wrote myself into a corner here because now this is getting very similar to my what if about Gohan training after Buu, but don't worry, this one may have a few similarities, but it's going to be entirely different and go in a completely opposite direction from that one. If you're interested, I have a playlist for that what if that you could check out. I'll link it at the top of the video. Now the group must recruit some fighters. After Whis helps Bulma give birth to Bra, they have 4 members now: Goku, Broly, Gohan, and Vegeta. In order to be more efficient, they split up and try to recruit their own members, and after everyone recruits some members, they'll decide on a final team later. Gohan goes with Goku, and Broly goes with Vegeta on their own. After about a day, the 2 small groups meet up with their own candidates and tell each other who they have. Goku and Broly recruited Krillin, 18, and through 18 they recruited 17, as well as potentially having Tien join just in case. Tien's not a definite answer yet, but he might come in later. So they already have 3 new members, totaling at 7, and potentially 8 if they need Tien to join. Gohan also got Piccolo to join on his own, so that's 8 members they have, 9 with Tien. As for Vegeta and Broly, they didn't get as many members, but they still got some pretty good ones. Broly is a little bit worried, and everyone sees why once Vegeta brings future Trunks and future Broly out. Goku is also freaked out because he doesn't know how Zeno will react, but Vegeta calms everyone down and tells them that he had Whis check with Zeno to make sure it was okay, and Whis was the reason he was able to go to the future in the first place. While it was kinda reckless, Vegeta is smug in the end because he got better fighters, and he didn't need to bribe them like Goku did with Krillin in 18. Oh yeah, and once he brings that up, the whole bribe discussion comes up, but that gets sorted out. So now, Universe 7 actually has a pretty solid team. They don't even need to recruit Tien. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Broly, Future Trunks, Piccolo, Krillin, Android 18, and finally, Android 17. After they sort the whole bribing thing out, the team is able to come together and form a strategy. Krillin, 18, and 17 are pretty much as strong as they were in canon. In Part 7, I mentioned how Piccolo got access to God Ki, and while he doesn't get a new form, this still makes him way stronger, and he's now a godlike Namekian, I guess that's what we could call it. You know, the name doesn't sound too bad. It's pretty much like how Goku and Vegeta became godlike Saiyans by having their God Ki in base form. In terms of Future Broly and Future Trunks, Future Broly got Super Saiyan 2 when he visited the past, and after that, he was able to achieve Super Saiyan 2, but that's pretty much all he has. Trunks has been training, but he never learned how to use Super Saiyan God, so while he might have access to God Ki, as does Future Broly due to both of them training with Vegeta, both of them can only use Super Saiyan 2 at best, but they're still very strong regardless. Having God Ki makes them more powerful either way, even if they can't utilize it properly and get a new form. And besides, it doesn't all come down to power. Technique and strategy are something that they have down to a T, and they fight very well together and have a lot of synergy. After his training, Goku has mastered Super Saiyan Blue, and obviously Gohan has it as well, and that's the most powerful form that they can both use right now. Broly now has control over Super Saiyan God, and has tapped into Super Saiyan Blue very briefly, but he can't use it, at least not at will, and he can't really control it when he does end up tapping into it. Vegeta's current max power is Super Saiyan Blue, and he has attempted to use Master Super Saiyan Blue, but he doesn't really have it down yet. As for Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, they all have figured out to basically use Wrathful Super Saiyan with so much efficiency that the amount of stamina they use is like being in base form, so they really don't use any stamina at all, at least when it comes down to maintaining it. Similar to how Goku and Gohan in the original story use Mastered Super Saiyan in the Cell Saga and remain in that form during the 10 days, they're gonna kinda do that here with Wrathful Super Saiyan, and they'll be using this form instead of staying in base, and only drop out of it if they need to switch over to any of their god forms. This will not only help them train the form even further, but it'll give them a nice boost in power instead of just fighting in base, without them having to use too much stamina. With the team now ready, they head to the World of Void. The tournament begins and now everyone is able to show off their true power. Right away, Universe 9 gets eliminated like normal, and everyone fully realizes how serious this tournament will be. Especially once everyone gets a sense of the power from the other fighters, specifically one named Jiren from Universe 11. And the fighters from Universe 6 are there too, and pretty interesting. They recognize Hit and Kaba, and there's also 2 Saiyans beside them. Every universe has their own powerful foes, and one of the universes is already gone. While Goku and Vegeta didn't follow the plan that Gohan had to stick together, most of the other fighters from Universe 7 remain close together, and will only split up if necessary. They're only a few minutes in, but things are heating up way too much already. This is where we'll leave off for now. Now with the tournament starting, how will everyone perform? Will Universe 7 be victorious? Comment your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications about future parts of this What If and any other videos of mine. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next part.